when I became a father, I thought that the days of driving a Miata were over. Until one day I discovered that, having a front-facing baby seat was completely legal in a Miata if you were able to turn off the passenger airbag. Well, at the time, I started by picking up a very, very inexpensive white 91, I believe it was, that turned out to be a complete load of junk. I sold it back, recouped the money that I put into it, and picked up from Washington a 2001, 2002, one of the 2001, 2002 mahogany mica. I can remember that mahogany mica special edition Miata. It had the wood steering wheel and all that, and it was a beautiful car. I loved it. It was great. Unfortunately, I had one problem with it, is that my mechanic, I gave him the keys one night to take it in the morning to have some work done to it, and I was awoken that morning by a phone call from the Vancouver Police Department asking me if I knew where my car was. I explained to them, yes, I'd given my key to my to my mechanic and that. So he said, well, your car is wrecked. And so I went and looked outside, and I saw it was parked outside my place, all smashed up, because my mechanic had decided to take it out to the bar the night before. Yep, instead of just being trustable and reliable, he decided he was going to go off and show it off, and ended up running it into a barrier when he was coming back home from the bar. And instead of doing the right thing, he just ran from it. So he admitted to the police that he did it, so I didn't get charged with it, fortunately. But it didn't have insurance to cover that, so I was out the cost of the car and the work I'd done to it. On top of that, my mechanic didn't pay me anything back for it. So I pretty much got hosed on that. Fortunately, I just picked this one up. So, with the intent, this is the strange part about this car. I didn't even want this car when I bought it. I bought it because I figured that I would be able to flip it once I got it to Vancouver. Now, I may very well have been able to easily flip it, but as you can tell, because I still have it 10 years, 6, 8, 9 years later, so many years later, so I still have it 9 years later, I decided I was going to keep it. The reason it's black is because I never wanted to have a black car. I figured that would help me make sure that I flipped it and didn't keep it. So I guess that didn't work out very well. Now, I've owned the NAs, NBs, and NC model cars. I haven't owned or test driven one of the new ones yet. But of the first three cars, I prefer this one. Now, the thing that I often am disappointed with is that I never see videos talking about this car compared to the ND. Actually, I've seen one, and it was about 10 seconds at the end of the video. Oh yeah, this is nice. And they finally, for the first time, said something not too bad about it. Most of the time, I see people that make the videos that had NAs and they're going to the NBs, and they talk about how, oh, the NBC was the horrible car, it was so heavy, and this and that was wrong with it. This one is still my favorite. I'm the only Miata owner in the world, perhaps, that's not impressed by the new design. I think it looks nice, but I just don't think it looks too, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. It doesn't look Miata enough. This to me feels Miata. It looks Miata, it feels Miata, it drives Miata, and having driven as many as I have, it's not this big difference. It's not like an RX-7 when they went from the first generation of those things to the second generation, I think it is, where they were all square looking. By no means am I an expert of RX-7s. it's got the 2-liter engine, stock 167 horsepower. I don't know what I'm at. I haven't dynoed it, but it's a little bit better than that. It doesn't have a lot of low-end torque, but it's great when you're on the move. When you're on the highway, it's good. The suspension is, as they would say, bone-shatteringly harsh, which is fine by me. I mean, my race car before, I used to drive it all the time on the streets too, and this is better than that. The Bilsteins that are on it are stock from the GT version, and they are not adjustable, so I just have to put up with whatever they are. Hello, yes. Yes, you're looking at... Oh, there we go. I got it now. Bus changes one lane. Venza changes the other lane. What am I going to do? Am I going to wait? No, I'm going to go over here, go around this little guy. You want to go in front of me? Go in front of me. It makes good noise. Without having to go so fast that you risk your life. That's my favorite thing about this. In fact, if anything, I think putting the extra wide tires on this has maybe boringed it up a little bit. It doesn't have that ability to be tossed around quite as much. It's a lot more... If I want to go around a corner fast, I can get around a corner fast. If I want to go around a corner crazy, that's a little harder. I have to push a little harder for that. No matter what I put down, the back end tends to want to just stick to the ground, which is not a bad thing if you want to keep the car driving. Now, why would you want to buy an NC over an ND? Well, I don't know. You like the style? You want a 2-liter motor instead of the 1.8? You don't want to spend all your money on a brand new car yet? Or, as in my situation, you have a son who has informed you that you're not allowed to ever sell the car because he loves it so much. As a result of that, what I'm doing instead is, I told him, he's 10 years old now, when he turns 16, I said, when you turn 16, you can have this. And well then, what's this guy going to do? Of course, I know where I am. When he's 16, he will get this car, and then I'll buy something. Maybe I'll buy a Model X or something like that. Maybe we'll be fortunate and they'll have an electric Miata available at that point. I think it's, as much as I love the massive noise that this thing creates, and the nice rumble when you're just sitting idle here, I think that's probably the best plan, to go for something that's a little more with the times when I buy my next car. I'm not in the mood to flip cars and buy new vehicles all the time, so I have no need for this. And as much as, like everybody else that's a car enthusiast, I was a dreamer for owning a Ferrari one day, I've come to the conclusion that probably won't happen, so... Oops. Oh well, he's from another... Okay. He's from Utah. He allowed to drive like that. And I will just patiently wait. Vancouver Convention Center here. This is a great place if you want to pick up magic carps. So my son and I go walking along the ocean here on the weekends. That is... no, I don't know. Well, he's got a hard top on it, but it's black. I've never seen a black hard top on a red car. R8, old R8. I like the old R8s better than the R8s. I'm a sick bastard. I don't know anything about Porsches, and that was really smart. Oh, God. I've never been a fan of Porsches before, but since they added an SUV and a four-door sedan to their lineup, that hasn't increased my interest. That said, I've had this itch for the Cayman. I would actually prefer to have a convertible like the Boxster. But the Boxster, just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right to me. I drove a Boxster, now not the current generation, quite a few like the original generation, I guess it was, before I bought this, because I thought maybe I'll buy that car, and I just didn't like it. Call me sick. I think it's all the time that I've been spending driving Miatas over the years. That this is my car. I love the cars. That's why I've created this channel, always Miata, because that's all I want to do is drive them, and I hope they come out with an electric one, as much as I'm sure there will be millions of Miata owners who scream and roll over in their grave when they see an electric one finally get announced. It has to come eventually.